Hi guys, welcome to the relationship spread or X spread or on and off relationship spread. So let me explain to you how this works. I have developed this spread and initially I called it Cat Tarot Knows About Relationship Spread, but it got named by you X spread. Basically, it is taking me through various categories, and let me explain to you what these categories are and why I'm choosing them. You're going to see in every reading these cards are lying down on the table, and this doesn't mean that the cards are exactly pulled out the same for all of the signs. It simply means that I'm trying to figure out what is in these categories and what is referring to your relationship. And by actually finding all these elements, I will be able to find out the quality of your relationship and project the future trajectory. So the very first card that I have in this spread is the Magician. The Magician, being a number 1, is the number of creation. It is somebody who really want to create something, but it's just like in a phase of thinking. It will be very much like when we show up for work and we are just starting to plan our day, but we are yet not putting our hands on it. It is somebody who really believes that he has all the tools, but he has to figure out how to use those tools. So in this category, I will be trying to figure out what tools your relationship has been given. So it is kind of like a very latent position where maybe you're not using them, maybe you are overusing them, maybe you never got the tools that can make this relationship working. So in this category, in your toolbox, I find out if this relationship basically is ever a starter. The next card I have picked is Temperance reversed. So Temperance is a really great card in the upright position. It talks about things meeting all the needs. So, at the right time, in the right place, with the right person, with the right feeling, and it's kind of like that in the zone moment. Now, it basically talks about balance. It talks about creation. Look at the fire is creating, like the flowers are growing. But when it's reversed, none of that is happening. So things are not coming together. People are not coming toward us. They are not understanding us. So in this category, I'm trying to figure out what glue your relationship needs. What are the items that you need to work on? Then in my personal readings, I also compare these two categories in the end just to see if you can actually surpass these pluses and minuses or what can be done. Then I'm taking Queen of Wands as a significator for one partner. And please disregard that this is a fire sign generic representation, because in this case I really want people to see themselves as the best possible. Because if, for example, this is an on and off relationship, you do want the person to come back to you and to think about the best you can achieve. And that's basically what happens. People don't come back to you hoping for the worst you are. So this is basically representing one basically partner or female partner. You pretty much know from the storyline which one it is. Then 8 of Wands is basically lots of things happening here. So 8 of Wands is going to come as a communication and energy between you and your partner. This is going to tell me if he or she will call, what kind of issues are happening behind the surface, and what really was the nature of the communication or of silence. Then 9 of Wands is representative of, let's say, for X relationship, because Knight of Wands is almost more important than King, because Knight is the one who is being sent to represent, to show off, and sometimes they're just showing the power when they're being sent to a battle. So in tarot, if this is representing your partner, you want to see your partner galloping toward you and not just sitting and waiting for the partner to be served, which kind of is the case of King of Wands. I will, however, use King of Wands for steady relationships, for some people kind of get in a rut and want to see what is going on, because then King of Wands is more appropriate in that situation. Then I have Judgment card. Well, Judgment card in some decks is being called Karma card. I consider both Judgment and Justice Karma cards. This one actually more so, because this one really talks about bringing the old things to the surface. And so I'm looking that line in time for your relationship and seeing what kind of things are surfacing. And this doesn't have to mean only about your relationship, because we are set of a sum of different life trajectories, and sometimes our buttons are being pushed, so that means something from the past has resurfaced. So two resurfacing things at the same time combined with the outside influence is what is creating a relationship. And I really want to see how is that positioning happening and what can be done with this. And lastly, the last category would be Four of Wands. It is a category of moving to the next level of happiness, of, from liking each other to starting to go on a date, from dating someone to go in a serious relationship, from serious relationship to getting engaged, and so on. This is also going to tell me about the quality of your relationship, and also is going to be able to define if you should continue with that. So guys, now when you know what cards would mean, it's going to be much faster for me and easier for me to actually guide you through the categories. So for detailed explanation, you can also check on my website, www.cattarot.ca, and please also via my website as well, you can get your own personal reading, which supersede any of the readings on the site, because it's only your vibration and not the vibration of many. Thanks very much. Love you. Hi Capricorns, welcome to Cat Tarot. This is your monthly relationship and if your ex is coming back reading. Apologize. So I have already shuffled the cards, so let's check what's going on. But before I start, quickly, for those of you who skipped the intro, these are significators. These are not pulled out cards, because these 7 significators are going to define the categories that I want to see as aspects of your relationship. So if you actually never seen this reading, I highly advise to kind of see what I mean. Also, this is a general reading. This can apply to you 100%, but this can apply to you just in little chunks. Also, I have 2 significators, Queen of Wands and Knight of Wands, which can represent either of them, you, your partner, or even the other person involved. Okay. And yeah, lastly, to get your personal reading, please contact me. These readings are available for $50. They're still on special, down from $60. So let me just jump in. The Magician, the very first category, is going to tell me about the quality of your relationship. Sorry, not the quality, so much rather the tools that you are given that you can make it or not make it. So you have 10 of Wands reversed. This is actually a better card in reversed situation. 10 means coming to conclusion of something and starting something else, just if we kind of finish a cake and then we are just ready to eat it, kind of like 2 things happening simultaneously. In this particular case, when it's upright, this 10 is talking about person who really doesn't see what is in front of him or her, because maybe there are burdens, there may be secrets, there may be too many things placed on a plate. In this case, we are finally realizing, this is way too much. We need to drop it. And so this is really good thing to know and have in a relationship, to be able to kind of say, okay, you know what? Too much to handle. We have to go in smaller chunks. Temperance is going to talk about what needs to be glued in this relationship. And we are here looking in the first week. So 3 of Pentacles. Now, this can actually have multiple meanings. Generally, this upright is talking about teamwork, talking about projects taken together, talking about expertise. Threes are generally about goals and focus and nourishment, and they kind of go back to the card Empress, which kind of definitely talks about motherly principle, protectiveness. Now, when this is reversed and this needs to be glued, I think that your relationships had some kind of interference, and it could be financial interference, or it could be interference by a third person, somebody who was basically digging into kind of like peace in your relationship. Because when Three of Pentacles versus Three of Wands or Three of Cups come here, somebody is like really affecting the stability of basically your union. So how are you seen, or the significator? As I said, one of them will be you. The Magician reverse. So we have this card, and by the way, I took this from a different deck, so we have double the cards in there, and it's kind of really significant where they fall. So now Magician is not coming upright. So this is not creating magic. This is not using everything you can for advantage of a relationship. Now you're seen, maybe, or one of the partner is seen as not fully living up to a promise, or maybe creating issues, or maybe person not being as good as they thought there is. The Magician reversed is generally talking about a person who speaks a good game, who basically says all the right things, but there is like no mastery behind it. There is like nothing. It's like a doctor trying to sell you amazing, let's say, project and operation, and let's say plastic operation, but then you realize this is not even a doctor. This person never actually even had the instrument, but they really knew how to pull it off, and kind of the pickup on the look. So basically almost like an actor. So when I see Magician reversed, I'm thinking about a rock star, somebody who just went too much in their head, thinking about being too important. So somebody here is kind of seen, it could be you, that is losing ground, that is not true, that is not real. But keep in mind that it's just opinion of one person, and this doesn't have to necessarily be reality, because reality and what we think could be two different things, right? So let's see the communication here. We have the Star reversed. So Star is excuse me, the card of healing. And this healing takes place on many levels. This is kind of like connected to Aquarius, to the 11th sign. And Aquarius is supposed to be withdrawn on a personal level, but be very involved on a global level, because as 11 number is the healing number, it is supposed to affect in a very universal way. So this is now reversed over here. So it is telling me that communications are maybe lacking, or that maybe there is no communication, or that there is a bad communication, in a sense that somebody is like even deepening the wound instead of creating something. And it's definitely talking about lack of kindness, right? Because it is like somebody is rubbing somebody really the wrong way. And it could be like that somebody has this perception of you, and you're trying to change it, and you're telling them, and this is becoming a burden for you. And yet maybe you feel that somebody is attaching things on you, which is a reflection of who they are. And that happens in psychology. It's called mirroring effect. It is kind of quite often. So people even on the site attack me, and basically they're only telling me things about themselves. And generally you have to see things at face value and really see and dig deeply what really is happening behind this. So how do they see themselves? You see, they see themselves as somebody possibly withdrawn, somebody closed off to opinion of how to proceed, maybe somebody who is unable to make an opinion. This card, Two of Swords, is generally talking about, see, she is blindfolded, she has this huge water behind her, which are representing the emotions which are behind her. So somebody who is choosing head over heart, and there are two choices. that she doesn't know what to take. Only thing that she knows that one of them will be complete unknown. So the partner here just kind of like cannot make this conclusion, or doesn't want to make it. So now we have like really early stages over here. We have 1, 2, 3, but we also have 10. So something looks like, in your case, Capricorn, something finished and something else is starting, but it's like really not starting on a really solid ground. So let's see what karma is saying over here. Sorry. It must be some kind of communication that is happening in your relationship. Usually I feel there's things in my voice when some trouble is brewing. In my readings, it's always the case when I start feeling that maybe there's something coming. So now we have the Hermit as the next card. And this is telling me that situation you're in is calling for wisdom. Hermit is definitely talking, please go inside, take time out. Sometimes kind of it's necessary to regroup and kind of like devote to introspection. And this is just a temporary experience, but this kind of experience for looking inside is kind of really necessary for your growth. So step back, retreat, regroup, and renew. And that's going to help you get a clear perspective, because it, as I said, look, like you have a 10 and you have a 9. And on some level, you're getting it that, look, you know, we cannot build it on these principles. This is like really standing on a banana peel and hoping that things will somehow work out. So it is kind of time to kind of look deep. And Hermit is representing Virgo, so it is very earthy, kind of like connection, while these 3 are very air connections. So you have sort of like the air kind of encompassed with Earth, which is your sign. So this tells me that lots of things in the first week, this week, because I'll be doing these readings on the 7th, it's just like way too much doing bi-weeklies and relationship spreads and dailies around the 1st. I just collapsed, so I figured I better pace myself, and that way you also get better readings. So hence we are having from the 7th to 7th. So this is kind of like that basically second week in July, right now when the reading is taking place, that there is like this lots of mental activity and it's really not feeling right. It is like not sitting right. It looks like that one partner is really depending on other partner's decision here. And the wise decision is to get wise and to go deep and to take the time out and see really how to make it work. The quality of relationship is still kind of, there is existence of nurturing, right? There is like still, and I guess in so many negative cards, getting this card is good because obviously you are in this relationship for a reason. King of Cups is a really nourisher. It is kind of what I call an ideal father. It's somebody who will, you know, ask you how your day is, who is going to make sure that you are fed, you know, who is gentle, generous. He's definitely the best thing about King of Cups. He's a good listener and he's not judgmental. So it is somebody who leads others from fear and divisiveness, right? And into harmonious collaboration. So it is kind of like grounding yourself to go into this water element. And water element is needed for emotions to be experienced on a deeper level. Because look, it's going all the way from a head to heart over here. So let's see the next week, what's bringing over here. Well, what you have in a toolbox is 10 of Cups, really good, 10 of Cups, and again 10 on 10. So it's kind of surprising you have 10s and you have 1s, which is 1 is beginning after 10 and before 10. So 10 of Cups talks about emotional fulfillment, that you guys do have a potential to kind of reach all this kind of like stars, and it's great. I mean, many people just crave to have this card. So, but let's see if you really play this card in your relationship. So what needs to be glued? There is sense of lacking adoration and not being victorious when this card comes reversed. Six of Wands generally represents a winner and somebody who is looked up to, but it's at the same time keeping in itself a warning that, look, this is a very passing feeling. You are never forever on top of the world, because when you become a victor, people try to knock you down. So when this card is reversed, this card is talking about kind of falling out of grace, needing to be admired. And since this is coming down on the Three of Pentacles, I'm really wondering if this kind of relationship is lacking deeper component, that this is kind of like a carrot on a stick, this King of Cups in this Ten of Cups, because Three of Pentacles and Six of Wands is talking to me that somebody here is just to take what they can't take and to be quick in and out. This can definitely talk about sexual relationship. And coming in this category is saying, look guys, there is a potential here, so don't take it on such a face level here. But it takes two to tango, right? So second week, how are you seen? Well, you're seen as Page of Wands reversed. So it is kind of checking out. I think, Capricorn, you're losing esteem about how to continue, or you are seen as not engaging anymore, and maybe it's just a simple reaction to somebody who is not reaching a decision. So what is in terms of communication and the energy between the two of you? Well, we have the Lover's card, which can be good and bad, because it is the card who definitely talks about looking forward to a kind of harmonious future. It is like a 6, and you have a 6 over here as well. And 6s are generally card of families, right? Card of oneness, when two people become one. And basically it talks that life is just illusion of separation, right? We all actually reflection of one of another. So even when we are with a partner and they harm us, to some extent it is because of the piece of us went missing with them, right? So this is kind of understanding that there is a choice, and that every choice we make is about experience. It's about sharing, it's about exploring. This card is like not so much about lovers getting together, but it is the card with understanding what really is truly needed and what can be seen as a union. So this is coming on top of the Star. Lovers also represents air sign in tarot. There are two major arcanas, actually three, with Magician, which is also representing, the Magician generally represents Gemini, the Star represents Aquarius, and the Lover also represents Gemini. So this is kind of really interesting, because it's telling me there's lots of mental energy, but the passion is coming out of it. And this is also air energy as well. So let's see what a partner is thinking and feeling. There we go, yet another air energy. This king versus this king is talking about fairness. This king is generally also a judge. This king is somebody who is basically intellectual authority. He definitely takes reason over instinct and intellect over passion. This king is the one who rules the laws, and truth is everything when this card comes out. So this person who couldn't make decision, and this was a choice that we're kind of it's being addressed in the second week. It's talking about what are the intention and how the past foundations are affecting the future. So it is basically reviewing if this is a wise choice. This can also talk about renegotiating the deal, renegotiating how things are going, right? Because it has the element of setting things straight. Whenever you see the sword, it talks about the words, it talks about communication. So karmically, karma is saying, guys, is this a too high of a price to pay? When Eight of Cups is in this position, you're seeing the person, and cups are representing emotions. There are like so many emotions here, right? Look at here, you have a 10, so you see this happiness and abundance, right? Now, there are 8 of them, but the person is walking away. So what is possessing this person to walk away from something that maybe it was highly enjoyable? Most likely the answer is that basically they think it's too high price to pay, or that maybe they want to go on a journey of discovery and maybe looking for deeper meaning. Maybe they just are re-examining where they have been and where they really should be going. So this is the card that usually tells me, because it's coming here after the Hermit, that some kind of thoughts took place, a deeper kind of soul searching, and this is now understanding, well, you've been there as far as you could go, and now you're letting go of illusion. Hi, Shafi. Hi, Shaf. Do you like Capricorn? Huh? Do you like Capricorns? That's good. And this is basically saying that one partner or the second partner shouldn't be holding what is not right for them. And that's possibly why King of Swords appeared here, because he's saying, look, make the right choice for you. And possibly your partner is the one who is dominant in the situation, and it could be your partner that is deciding to walk away. And this is kind of too bad, because like there is a definitely potential for this relationship. So let's see what happens. The second week, yeah, the Sun, there is a burnout. The Sun reversed. Sun upright is again 19, and 1 and 9 is 10. So again, you have sort of like the bookends of this week with starting and beginnings. But this is reversed. So it's talking about burnout. It's talking about, okay, I really don't know how to continue. I really don't know how to rejoice. So let's see the end of the month here. Now this is a breakup card. And again, this card to me, because look, it has 2 people, and these 2 people are walking toward the water. And this is really, why would they walk over there and not over here, not forward, right? They lay down their arms, and this person kind of looks very smug. So it's kind of victory that really isn't a victory, right? Because, well, maybe this person feels right, but the others don't. So which one are you? Are you the one that is victorious, or are you the one who feels defeated, who feels sad, who kind of like has the head between your shoulders, kind of like walking around defeated? So 5 of Swords is definitely talking about being in a battle where, maybe it's winning at every cost. It's certainly not representing equilibrium. This is more or less talking about tension. It's talking about conflict. However, conflict is sometimes good, because it kind of helps you reveal motives and intentions. And this card is talking about learning to be authentic. As I said, swords are generally requiring from us to think through things. And this card is talking about us needing to have integrity, or this relationship is being called to have integrity, because each person has their own way of thinking, and they might not be in agreement with us. And we have to open to that opportunity to understand that. And it looks like, yeah, you have been, most likely one partner has been judged in a situation, and this is kind of calling for, okay, look at the things in different ways. So what needs repair? Judgment. Look, you have the Judgment card over here, but this Judgment is reversed. So when it's reversed, this Judgment is saying karma is coming to catch you. There were things from the past, and now this is connecting to possible third party and sex with a third party, somebody possibly going out of relationship and being penalized for it, and rightfully so. And here it's saying like you really cannot win in this situation. And this is also telling me about the law of 3, like all these bad things come in 3s. So it looks like the chips are falling down and the verdict is rendered. How are you seen? You're seen as Maybe you're the one juggling. Maybe you are the one out of balance. Maybe you're simply embarrassed about the situation, about everything. Maybe it is difficult to keep control about yourself, because now this is Pentacle, it's Earth, and so are you. And two is basically making a decision, and maybe decisions you have to make are of a financial nature that are connecting to this relationship, or simply how to function day to day, kind of like keep this ground, because right, it's kind of balancing act upright, but reversed is like feeling that things are completely out of your control. As far as the communication, karma is stepping in. Look, you have like 3 major arcanas in a row. This is now very, very significant, and yet we have another 10. For you guys, Capricorn, something is ending and something new is starting. And it is realization that the new phase has to come, because obviously this is why this thinking is taking place early in the month, to understand what is good for you, what is not good for you, and as much as we maybe want to be in there, understanding what is too high price to pay and when to engage and when disengage. So the partner, you see, they feel about themselves as devil. Now that card generally represents you, and I really don't like that devil represents any sign, especially Capricorn, that is like usually so preppy and so proper. But devil generally talks about, you see, and is the King of Swords, and plus you had this Lover's card over here, which is, I don't know if I actually ever explained this to you, but look, if you look at them, they're very similar, right? Like there are 2 people. Here's like matchmaking angel, and here it's a devil that is chaining 2 people, right? So this is the number 6, and this is number 15, and 1 and 5 is 6. So it is just another side of that, coin. And no, this one was upright. So this is saying, again, combined with this Wheel of Fortune that is reversed, that certain bad things will be coming your way. And this is talking about dealing with things that are not productive. This definitely talks about involvement of the third party, or something is not finished. You're not privy to certain information. You feel controlled, or somebody feels controlled, and hence this is the King of Swords trying to get through it. And it could be that somebody is battling their inner demons, that they're trying to figure out, like that, making this decision, and it's kind of hard to make this decision because maybe it is something that they really feel strongly guided toward, and they know this is really not good for them. But it looks like karma is stepping in, because this card means usually you don't have much choice. It's just like pushing it for you, because you have a Judgment and Wheel of Fortune and Devil here. So the end of the month is going to be pretty interesting. It could be definitely a breakup that can take somebody off their balance, and it's going to be dealing with lots of things at the same time. And again, you have this 10, right, that is kind of like pushing you into the next phase. It looks like almost, when the car is dying and you're trying to kind of like start the engine, and it kind of barely clicks, and then it takes forever to start, and then the more times you do it, the longer it takes, and finally it just collapses. That kind of like looks like it is slowly not, unfortunately, going in the right direction, but at the same time it is going in the right direction for you, Capricorn, because it looks like you're getting a knowledge of who you are and what you should really be doing for you in this situation. So what is karma saying? Well, you see, karma is saying, guys, dust off, get up, and continue. Page of Pentacles is Earth sign, and Earth sign is basically, let's look what is important. Let's kind of go back to the business, and let's kind of start building things. It is like somebody who is studious. It is commitment to getting better. It is, again, start. And as I said, like something had to end for something to start, and everything starts with a plan. And this is kind of like newfound belief that, okay, you know what, I can rebuild. I can either rebuild myself, or I can rebuild the two of us. And look, it is kind of almost somebody's making commitment to rebuild a relationship, because you are getting 401s on 401s right under the sun. So it looks like to me, guys, in your case, it's going to be a huge burnout. It's going to come to a complete collapse. All the issues would come to the surface. It's going to be true fire, possible breakup that can bring a completely new start on a really basic level, on a really understanding, look, we have to build this properly, really brick by brick. We cannot keep patching these things up because they're falling apart. And let's see the sneak preview of the first week in July. Now, this is interesting. Looks like there is still a big hesitancy. I have lots of cards here. First of all, I have a 9 of, so I have a 9 and 1, and then I have a 9 again. So it looks like something ended, something new is starting, but there are still kind of echoes of what has happened, because this is this anxiety, this is like sleepless nights, this is kind of doubts about if you did the right thing. These are also, this is kind of negativity, talking about negativity, feeling that you're attracting bad luck, which kind of like did maybe have been experienced, and feeling or maybe even sorry about the situation. And the Hangman here has a similar quality to Hermit over here. So it's saying, look, you really have to go back and think through that situation. The Hangman is like being suspended and trusting the flow and understanding that you cannot influence. This is definitely let go of control card, because you have the Judgment here reversed, and you had Wheel of Fortune, and like all of these cards here are telling me that something really bad happened at the end of the month, the last week in June, and it's rendering you with huge anxiety and kind of giving up energy, closing your heart, closing this relationship. So there is like the Ace of Cups reversed. The nourishment is not happening. Kind of, its emotions are coming out. And the Chariot is like your partner is feeling stuck. There is karma saying there is no fulfillment in this particular relationship, and the entire kind of universe is asking you to basically reinvent yourself. So it is like breaking up and recommitting to a relationship, but not necessarily that one. It's recommitting to a new start with somebody else, and yet still dealing with this, and again coming back victorious, because now you have the third king, King of Pentacles, and this is really your king, which kind of rules your sign. And this king is basically talking about earthy achievements. It is somebody who is enterprising, philanthropist. He's able to attract really wealth through like hard work, through dedication. Somebody who is reliable, and somebody who can manifest what this person desires. It's upgrade from the Page, which is just an apprentice working toward the goal of becoming the king. And it is understanding that opportunities are everywhere, and that you need to find somebody grounded, because your earth sign, and looks like your partner has been very much up in the clouds, and it kind of was always chasing the rainbow, and it kind of like felt sometimes very elusive, but on the other hand it didn't really feel right. So this is cleansing certain energies and cleaning all this debris in your head and in your heart to become again strong and powerful, Capricorn. Again, Capricorn, as I said in the beginning, this reading may not resonate with you, because this is general reading. So for your personal reading, please contact me at www.catchtarot.ca, and please subscribe, share, and like. And I would love to know your comments about this reading. I would love to know what you think, and how is this reflecting on your situations and your thoughts. Thank you so much, Capricorn. I love you.